Welcome to the alumni from Joshua Moriah who are joining us for what we hope will become a series of short, brief moments of Torah that we are able to upload for you. And this series is going to be called Torah in 5 minutes or less. We felt that Elul was an appropriate time to begin this series, as Elul is a time that we're hopefully looking and searching for more ways to connect. So maybe this should be one more way for us to connect to one another, to connect to learning, to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and to connect to that time of year where we have to connect deeper to ourselves and our greater potential. The Chodesh Elul series is sponsored by Nechama ben Moshe in the merit of the Refuah Shlema for her father, Reuven Tzvi Hirsch ben Dina. He should have a Refuah Shlema b'mehera v'yameinu, and hopefully also with the schut of our learning and also the prayers that are said on behalf of him, he should be able to endure, has the strength to endure this journey of pain and suffering until that day comes when he has a Refuah Shlema. I thought it would be an appropriate thing to begin the series with talking about something connected to tefillah, as we have another 2.5 weeks in Mirz Hashem to prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah, to prepare for that great ascent that we are going to make towards God of tefillah, and getting ready for throughout Elul, for Rosh Hashanah, for Seri Tshuva, for Yom Kippur, where that is the be all and end all of the holiest of holies of days. So let's go right into it in 5 minutes or less. There's a Gemara in Brachot that says as follows: Amar Rabbi Elazar, Brachot Lamed Bet for those following. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Miyom shecharav Beit Hamikdash ninalu sharei tefillah, v'af bisha sharei tefillah ninalu sharei dima lo ninalu. And the Gemara translates as follows: that since the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash, of the Holy Temple, the gates of prayer have been locked. And even though the gates of prayer have been locked, the gates of tears have never been locked. I find this both a very problematic and a very beautiful piece of Talmud. I don't know what it means that the gates of prayer have been locked. I don't know how the gates of prayer could ever be locked, even though it's a statement of the Gemara. But I think it's beautiful that the gates of tears are never locked. Rav Kooks, whose yahrzeit was a few days ago, Gimel Elul, has a beautiful idea that he presents in the introduction to his Siddur Olat Re'iyah. And what he says in his introduction to the Siddur, what he says is as follows: that it's not the gates of the heavenly sphere, the gates of godliness, the gates of heaven, the gates of the Beit HaMikdash that were locked. It's the gates down here that have been locked. The gates within the soul of each and every individual, each and every man and woman, that it's harder and more challenging for us to pray when we don't sense God in our midst. Since the Beit HaMikdash was taken from us so many years ago, we've had a harder time connecting to the concept of God because the Shekhinah is not a part of us and not in our midst. And that's why the gates of prayer have been locked. They've been locked within each and every one of us. But what hasn't been locked and what's never going to be locked are the gates of tears. And what those gates of tears represent are the gates of yearning, desire, craving, and emotional connection to what we want to be able to be doing. As Rav Kooks says it, he says, "Hadma'ot mishtapchot mirov ga'aguav letov l'chesed elyon," that we're literally crying over the fact that we can't be where we want to be. We're crying over the fact that we miss being in feeling God's presence, feeling like God is present within us, and feeling that we are present within God. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel says it so beautifully when he says that the bad thing is that we're not concerned with prayer. He says, but the beautiful thing is that we have become concerned with our lack of concern. That we're concerned with our lack of concern. It bothers us that we can't connect. It bothers us that we're not able to feel that presence, and therefore it becomes so hard for us to pray. So I think that as we start to take ourselves more seriously during this month, and we're like I said, we're preparing for the Midmo Ra'im, and we know that we're going to spend so many days in prayer. Let's not wait till Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur to begin to feel and desire that connection, that feeling that we feel now, that yearning, that stirring within us, that we want something, that we need something, that we yearn that connection and that closeness, and we yearn to be at that place where we once were. That place could have been during your year in Israel. That place could have been during a certain tefillah that you had. That place could have been during some moment of inspiration that you had. We know we can get there, and it bothers us that we're not there now. So to open up our series, let's Mirz Hashem be inspired to at least have those sha'arei dima, to remember that the gates of tears and the gates of yearning and the gates of craving, that closeness, are never locked. And that craving and that yearning and that desire should serve to inspire us and to lead us to the next stage, which is prayer. But it's got to start with a desire, and it's got to start with a ratzon and a motivation. And Mirz Hashem, we'll see you in our next video upload.